Hey guys, Super Blind Man here. I wanted to start today's video by telling you guys that you know what, you are what I am here for. I enjoy making content for you. This is a deep passion for me. Home theater is it's what I dream about all day long. It's what I long to do. It's what I love doing. And I am here to answer your questions, but I'm also here to come up with unique content as much as I can. Obviously, other people cover the subjects which I cover, but I like to bring my own humble opinions to the floor, and I believe that I do have a lot to offer in that sense. I have been around the community of home theater. I have certainly researched so much about the industry. I have had personal experience with just about everything you can imagine, from hooking up TV speakers, receivers, tons of stuff, subwoofers, all that stuff. I have been in the field all of my life, so if I can put it that way, I love it and I've enjoyed it, and I'm here for you. Without further ado, today's subject is quick and easy, basically acoustic correction. So we're going to cover some things that I have done, basically, to cover acoustic correction. Let's go ahead and start here at the front of the room. Of course, you see my towers, my ever beautiful golden ear technology Triton reference towers, my television, my center, my entertainment center, the other speaker. But what you don't see till you get back here is a little something I have used for center correction. And this is just basically a blanket. All right. It's a thick wool blanket. It kind of sticks up from the TV a little bit, but not very far. So I thought I'd get back here and just kind of show you that. Also, guys, I'm going to go around the room and show you some of my other little gems here, which is a half-ass solution for now. I will eventually just get cloth blinds, but for now I've hung up an Egyptian cotton blanket, which is kind of droopy. It's just like I said, it's a half-ass solution for now, and I need to tighten it up, make sure it's not dragging, but it's kind of long. It's a big blanket. Sheet. Pardon me. Just a regular old sheet. Fed paracord through the sheet and hung it up. Also here I have, as you may see there, a Grateful Dead tablecloth tapestry thing I got online. Okay, $35. Over here we have a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon tapestry, which takes up nearly this entire wall. So I'll show you. Here's my couch. Okay, this stretches from one end of this wall to the other almost completely. You've also got my immersion set scarf I put on the top up there toward the top of the tapestry. I don't know, just to throw it up there. I thought, well, they look good together. And again, $35, Amazon. Okay, nothing too complicated. This is cotton, which, while not being an acoustic treatment, okay, and I'm just going to do this real quick. Okay, really, honestly, you don't hear as much an echo as you did in this room before. Okay, that's very important. It's important because you don't want this room to sound like a big fat echo chamber. Okay, now throwing it up there. Two of the same identical blanket. One's behind my television. One is back there on the back wall. So you can see that clearly back there. Now these are important because those are thicker. Okay, that's a much larger, thicker blanket. These are just, like I said, cotton. They're not that thick, right? They're not big, huge, pieces of wool or pillows or sound deadening blankets. They're nothing of that sort. This is a mild sound correction that you can do by yourself. It doesn't cost a great deal of money, but it works. Okay? Now, the reason why I've done this here is for initial sound reflection. Now, obviously, my speaker, and I'm spinning you around, this is my front left speaker. Okay, my Triton reference tower, as I mentioned before. Okay, now, the first initial reflections are going to come off this wall. Okay. Having this here does not stop them from occurring as much as it does just calm them down to the point where they're not, again, it's not an echo chamber. It's not just going, across this smooth painted wall underneath this. Now it has calmed that reflection down to the point where it sounds more acoustically correct and natural rather than sounding absolutely horrible. Okay. So that's just a real basic thing. Again, over here, this is part of some of the waves. Obviously some of the waves would be bouncing off this wall. But to be honest with you, I thought, it's probably not going to be as much for the front right speaker as that would be probably for the surround speaker there. Okay, so I've got my surround BRX over there as well, obviously by the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon here. You've also got my other surround speaker there. The little BRX is next to my lamp there, as you can see. So that would help with initial reflections from that. Now, I'm not saying these are hugely absorbent. They're not massively, they're not going to swallow up all the sound, and that's what you want. You don't want anything that's over-corrective, because I just got done making that mistake. Now, you might notice that big thing. My brother makes fun of that. Looks like a body tucked in a pillow back there. It's a homemade bass trap. Okay, eventually I'll get bass traps. Give me a break. I don't have money for bass traps. Okay, that's what I got. All right, homemade. Basically what that is Dacron stuffing that was in pillows with a foam core that consists of the foam padding that actually came on the front of these speakers. So the front of these speakers actually had a big, thick foam piece. Very sound absorbent. I know because I tested it. So I just yelled at it, and yes, it was very deadening. So quite nice. Anyway, and that acts by grabbing the bass that would go into the corner and bounce around, and obviously absorbing some of that and deflecting the rest of it. So that definitely makes it to where bass is not as big an issue. Again, why is the blanket up here important? Okay, obviously when you have something like that is a very deadening piece of material. Well, those blankets are thick and they are very sound deadening. You can hear it when you yell at it. It's a very deadening piece of material. Why is that important? It is important because that improves center imagery, especially seeing as this TV is nothing but, you guessed it, a big fat reflecting surface, right? That's not good, right? So you don't want a bunch of reflections, and whatever I could capture back there that I could stop, that I could cease from bouncing around was very important, and it has helped with center imagery. So I've been quite happy with that. But mild forms of correction are great. They are wonderful because it just, again, stops all of the unwanted acoustic energy from traveling around in an uncontrolled manner, in a, basically an echo chamber way. You don't want that. And these are ways that you can, on a modest, limited budget. Of course, you look at my system and you go, why didn't you just get sound correction? Well, I don't have the money right now. So that system cost me a lot, and I'm still paying for it. So, therefore, it's not a priority right now, and I don't have the money anyway. So these were cheap solutions that I can pay for every month and be happy that I grabbed. Again, they're not expensive. They were downright inexpensive, but effective enough to perform mild sound correction. Nothing too absorbent, especially cost-wise, but sound wave-wise, obviously, of course. So nothing that was over the top. Definitely, right? Now, eventually, I will get more involved acoustic treatment, but this is just something you can do to calm down those initial reflections. Of course, here I have a sliding glass door. This is a major problem. Okay, not to mention vinyl blinds in front of it, major problem. Okay, that's nothing but that's nothing but solid reflections. Okay, boing, those sound waves are going to come right off of there and come bouncing back into the room unfettered. Okay, this takes that initial sound and it calms the reflections down. Again, it does not stop them, but over the length of that sheet, it brings them to enough control to make this sound like a natural environment and not over the top. Now, again, I may even go with some other form of sound correction over the front of those blinds. I have just considered another tapestry. I do have more coming, so I will have more to choose from here shortly. And then that way I can hang something, probably a tapestry over there, instead of that blanket, which will not do the same absorption rate, but it would be more even with the wall to my left where the Pink Floyd tapestry is. So I feel that would be good. This also, again, it's all consistent material, and that means it's going to have a consistent effect across the room. I hate to say it, it's not just because I'm blind, but there will be uneven results if you have uneven material, right? So that Egyptian cotton sheet is certainly grabbing more information, acoustic information, and calming it down than something like this Dark Side of the Moon tapestry here, right? It's very thin. It's like a flag, okay, essentially, except it's made of cotton, not, silk and dacron or rayon or whatever there, right? So it's a natural material. Any natural fibers usually will act as a mild sound correction in thin amounts like that. And it's not that, okay, and let's put it this way. It's not that it's going to hit that and die, okay? That's not going to happen, right? Period. It's not thick enough for that to happen. However, since the waves keep hitting it and they keep going along it, it just does enough, okay, to change the frequencies, to lower the frequencies, to take the bounce, the reverberation away. It is now not a painted wall, right? It's now a cotton tapestry. And that is changing the sonic characteristic of the wall. Okay, so that's actually really, really a good thing. It really is. It's going to make things sound more natural. It's not going to allow the sound waves to keep bouncing off there at the same frequency. It will slow them down. It will change their frequency, and that means it's a little more natural, like singing in a forest, right? So it's more natural. It just makes more sense to your ears. So cutting this video off right here, I just want to state that these are just basic little things. I'm trying to help you to understand that, you don't have to buy uber expensive, nasty, over-the-top things. You really don't. You don't have to, go overboard with things. You don't have to spend inordinate amounts of money buying acoustic treatment panels, right? There might be things that you go, well, I like the sound of this, or I think this would work better, or that, or whatnot, or blah, blah, blah. But in the end, really what this is all about is getting that to sound correct. Getting it to sound natural. Not subdued. Not screwed up, but sound right. And I think that I've come to a point of that in this room. I think sound pretty normal. So let me give you a sound bit here. So I think all in all, just small examples again from what I've got here in my queue and YouTube. I really honestly feel this sounds very natural. It doesn't sound at all exaggerated. It doesn't have a concert hall feel to it exactly. It's not completely calmed down, I'll be 100% with you, in the sense that the echoes are not 100% gone, but it is a pleasant sound and a more natural sound more than it is um, an echoed, chamber that's just, So I think that it sounds pretty pleasant. So I think that if you are wanting to make cheap, easy, quick acoustic corrections that are not going to cost you just a buttload of money, look into tapestries like that. Um, if you are looking again at, like I said, even something like this, okay, an Egyptian cotton sheet, all right, I'm going to guess a 600 thread count Egyptian cotton sheet. And I'm just going to state right now that that's not the thickest that they get, certainly, but it works perfect. It works fine. Not to mention, it's white. So if you hung this on a wall, you wouldn't actually see it. It wouldn't have to be in your way, right? So unlike something like the Pink Floyd, tablecloth tapestry thing there, that's making a statement, you don't have to make a statement. It can be completely invisible. So obviously, a white sheet, no one would probably even know it was there unless they're close enough to your wall to realize that your wall isn't exactly, uh, glossy. Unless, or well, even that, if you have a matte finish or eggshell finish, you wouldn't even realize it was there, right? So you'd have no idea that there was a sheet there to begin with. So, I mean, obviously someone's going to spot it if it's on a high gloss wall, but still, something that can be put up cheap, expensive, inexpensive, no money, not much money out of pocket, guys. You can go down to freaking Sabres and Salvation Army and wherever to get sheets, and most of the time they're cleaned by them, so they're not stained. Or just look for one that isn't stained or messed up. And there you go, boom, put it on the wall. Cheap, easy, inexpensive acoustic treatment that you can put anywhere without any consequences, right? And just tack it to the wall. It's not going to hurt the wall, right? So just think about it, something to think about. I'm throwing that out there so that you have an inexpensive solution that I can tell you these ears are telling me definitely work in this room. They've calmed the reflections down in this room tremendously. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say this right now. I had the blanket that is behind that's on the back wall back there that I showed you before. Not behind the TV. That one's been there the whole time. But its twin was sitting here on this wall to the left of me where the Pink Floyd tapestry is. It was way too deadening. As a matter of fact, it pretty much made it sound as if that wall didn't exist too far of an extent. It wasn't giving you acoustic information at all. So it was like sound was going into a black hole. It sounded a bit unnatural. When I put this tapestry up, it corrected the issue and sounded really nice and open. I instantly got imagery off to the left where I wasn't getting as much of it before. So reflections are important. Overcorrection is not good. Okay, obviously having that blanket out across the entire wall was not a good idea. Now, if I'd cut patterns into it, right, if I put like diamond patterns or something, that would fix the problem as well, because then it's not 100% absorbent across the entire wall, if that makes sense. So anyway, I've rambled on, but I enjoy giving you guys these videos. If you have any topics you'd like to have me expound on, please just, let me know. Hey, for real. I enjoy talking to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you. Bye-bye. Stop recording button.